Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Imperial Assault. Let's check it out. To play the game, you're going to just look at this book here full of scenarios, find the tiles to match them up to make the map, find the little icons. It even tells you where all the players start. It will let you know what the Imperial group will start with. What you'll do is you'll look through the Imperial deck here and pick the cards. So in this one you'd have a gray Imperial officer and gray stormtroopers. And it'll tell you how many there are too. And then that's what you'll start with. You may start with additional cards you may have to pull from this deck. If it says open groups, you get to choose who they are. You can even look through the mercenary deck. So like if I wanted to put a Jawa scavenger in this adventure, I could. The only thing that limits you on picking something from this deck or the other deck would be if it has this little black square on it. That is for a specific mission, and he can't be used unless it's specified in the mission. As for the players, they can pick a character they want to be, grab the little mini, grab their little character deck, and their character deck is their starting weapon right there, which shows you what dice you will roll when attacking and what any of these symbols could mean on your dice. I'll go over the dice in just a minute. Also, you have some regular upgrades you can get in between missions as well. But just kind of show you what this means is, this person has 11 health. They have some special actions here they can take advantage of, but they start with 11 health. So as they get hit, these are the hit tokens that come on there. If they ever get up to 11, then you'll just flip them over to their injured side, and they will play injured, which their stats are greatly reduced a little bit here, as are some of their special actions. At this time, though, if they get 11 more, then they are out for that game. Now, flipping it back over, there is endurance. Endurance is usually where they want to can take some strain and do one extra movement. And if so, you put one of these endurance tokens on there. They can hold up to 4. There is a way to remove this, and even health later on too. Now, I should say that damage comes in things of 5, and endurance comes in tokens of 2 as well. So you won't be putting tons of tokens on here at one time. Your speed is how many spaces you can move on an action, so she can move up to 5 spaces. And defense means what color die you're going to roll with. So this would be a white die. Some characters can roll with a black die, sometimes 1 or 2 depending on what you got there. There are also certain things that require strength test, or certain tests there, strength, insight, or mechanical, and it shows you what die you need to roll. And if any of those die pop up, like let's say I was rolling a green and a yellow, if I got in a blue, let's say I don't have a blue with me, but if any of these surge symbols rolled up during your roll for whatever dice you have, that would allow you to pass that certain test. Looking at the die here, you have several die with different symbols on them. These are hits. These are surges, which can help you do certain things specific to your character or weapon. And this is distance, so you have to have the distance, a line of sight, and count out the squares in between you and the target to hit if you're shooting at a distance. What these are blocks, these little triangles here. So for instance, if this was the roll, these 2 hits would both be blocked. What this little symbol does, it cancels out a surge. So again, let's say this was it, and they rolled all these. Well, 2 of these hits would be canceled out, as would this surge. So the only thing that would count would be 2 hits on the character card. In the game, there are 4 types of conditions that your character can have. One can be focus. Now, this is the only good one here. Basically, it will add a green die to your rolls. That's really good to have. What stunned means is that you can't do anything. You can't attack or move. You must use one of your 2 actions to remove the stunned off your character. With bleeding, what you're going to do with bleeding, you're going to suffer 1 damage for every action you perform. Of course, it does take 1 action to remove the bleeding token. And then finally is weakness. Weakness gives you a -1 in either surges or evade tokens. So if you rolled that, it'd be minus that or minus this. And of course, for 1 action, you can get rid of a weakened state. On your turn, you can take 2 actions. One would be to move. You can move that character's speed. You can stop at any time. Certain areas like water or high climbing can count for 2 extra moves. The book will tell you when you come across those different types of terrain. The second action is attack, and what you would do is you just take the necessary dice you need to attack with whatever weapon you're using. The third would be interact. You could interact with anything in the game, searches, terminals, opening doors or whatnot, and of course you would roll those type of die for whatever type of interaction you were performing. The next action you can perform is a rest. You can rest up to your endurance here and take away that many endurance. if you have lower endurance than you have on this board. So for instance, I can remove up to 4 endurance, but only have 3. Well, in that case, my 4th one can be to heal up 1. Now, I cannot go ahead and say, well, I'm going to remove 4 of these instead of leaving my endurance. No, endurance must always happen first, and then after you clear off your endurance, if there's anything left, you can heal 1 as well. The final action you can take is a special action, and that would be on your card or a special player card that you have in your character deck if it says a special action. Special actions will have special words associated with them, like blast. Blast means you can just hit anyone in that designated area. So if I was here and I had a blast, I could hit this one, this person. And if this person was orthogonally from me, I could hit them too in what's called a blast. And a cleave, if 2 people were next to me and I was here, I could damage this person and also this person as well if it says cleave. A pierce means it pierces through one of the opponent player's blocks in the game if it says pierce. If it says recover, basically, you remove 1 strain from your character's card, but you can only do that if you're the only person, there's no one around you. And then finally, the other type is reach. For instance, like a Jedi has a lightsaber and they can attack from 1 space away. So again, if a Jedi was right here, they could attack the Stormtrooper without having to move 1 up on top of them. Now, in between campaign missions, you'll be able to upgrade your character, giving them special abilities. There's the experience points down here. You'll earn certain experience points every round. You can purchase up and save up and buy 1 or 2 or 3 of these and basically increase your character's skill. During the game, you may have looked over some crates and gotten some items for free, which would be nice. Any of these crate tokens are worth 50 credits each, because you can also shop in decks labeled by the 1, 2, and 3. The campaign will tell you which deck you can search through. And in there, you can upgrade and get armor, weapons, items. You can have up to 3 items, 2 weapons, and 1 armor. Also, certain weapons can also come with one of these little blue icons here, which means they get an upgrade. There's other things that have a yellow arrow pointing up, which means it can upgrade one of your weapons and give it better, I don't know, length, ability, or maybe get you roll an extra dice on it. So you can have some upgrades to certain weapons too. This one can only have 1. Some can have up to 2 on them. Also in the game, if it's specified in the rules, if you complete something, you also can pull a reward card, which will give you various rewards in the game. Now, for the Imperial, at the end of every campaign mission, they can also gain influence and experience points as well to upgrade their characters, or even buy extra missions to throw at the good guys. Timed missions, meaning they have to complete within a certain time, or force missions that they have to go on. And at the end of every, like I said, mission, they'll be able to choose from the following decks. There are more decks available if you have expansions. Also in between missions is a side mission deck. You're basically going to take 2 reds, and red missions are associated with the actual character, so you want to pull all the characters that you're using in the campaign and pull their specific red missions for it. You're going to choose 2 of them for the deck. You're going to look through the green missions and choose 4 that the players want to put in there, and then randomly you're going to take 4 gray, and then you're going to mix that deck up, flip 2 over, and as a group, the good guys can choose 1 of those side missions. Side missions can give you, of course, these type of rewards, which could be a special reward cards, a specific card, or an activated character, like in Han Solo's difference there. So different, like I said, different rewards for different side missions. And that's something they could choose to go on after the first mission. They go on a side mission, and then they can upgrade again after that side mission, and then continue to mission number 2. Now, all the side missions will even tell you where you need to go in the rule book, like page 6, core game, brushfire. That's how you find the rules for this side mission. So you can always look through and look up any side mission you want to get the actual setup for it. Every mission you play through will have this round counter and has the threat level here. At the beginning, it will start round 1. We'll start with 0 threat, excuse me, and then every round that keeps going, you'll just upgrade it every time you get a round. Now, the game will usually say how many rounds it can go if it's timed, or it'll say, hey, how to increase your threat level. Usually they start off at 2, but then later on it may be increase threat level by 3, which means every round, every round, I would increase this by 3. Now, what does that mean? This is something that the Imperial player can use to either order more cards into cards into play, or more reinforcements. For instance, I start with 3 of these basic generic stormtroopers. If I want to use 2 of my experience, I can bring 1 of those 3 stormtroopers back to life. Or if I save up and get 6, I can bring the Stormtrooper card. Let's say it was sitting outside the game. I could bring the Stormtrooper card in and bring this as a new bad guy. Of course, some other cards that are in the deck you may have to save up for certain rounds before you can deploy them. And of course, it's up to the Imperial player to decide when they want to do that. And basically, that's the base rules of the campaign and the game. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well. I've had this game in my collection for over a year. Now, why haven't I done a review for a dungeon crawl Star Wars game? Because, folks, if you know me, I like dungeon crawls and I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars. And if you do too, this may be the game for you. Not as exciting for me. This is weird. Hear me out. I am so used. I've been playing Descent for years. And everyone, when Imperial Assault came out, everyone said, Matt, Imperial Assault is Descent 2.0. It's even better. It's like, really? And it's Star Wars. Oh my stars. A good friend of mine, Spencer, convinced me to get this game. Also, I saw someone had the entire collection, everything. And I got it for a good price. And so I got in. The minis look incredible. The gameplay is very similar to Descent, which is why I didn't kind of set things up for you, because you can just go watch my Descent review or go watch any Descent review to see how a normal gameplay goes. But just kind of showing you all the extra rules that comes with it. Some of them are very similar, some are a little different, like some of the statuses, weakness, bleeding, and stuff like that, stunned. That's also in Descent as well. Now let me talk about basically 2 things I'm not really so hot on. One is, at the end of every campaign mission, the reward is exactly the same. Whether the Imperials win or the Republic wins, it's the same reward every adventure. As of this video, I have played 6, but I looked ahead to see what the rewards were, and they're the same every time. In Descent, they switched up what the reward was, what you could get here, how much you could get here. It was different. This one just seems the same. Now, of course, this is the base game, so maybe later on in expansions that they mixed up experience points and influence points and rewards and stuff like that later on. But man, that was kind of bland. The other thing I don't like, and even though my gaming group really liked this game, I should preface this, they really love this game. They've never played Descent with me, because usually I reserve Descent for my nephews and I to play. But the whole time I was playing, I was like, I'd rather be playing Descent. I like the game. I will play through it. You know, it's just, I'm not going to rush to play through this. I'm not going to bring this to the beach or, you know, all day on Thanksgiving or, you know, during the holidays like I did with Descent and just like play through a ton of adventures all day long. I'm not going to do it with this one. If I make it through this, maybe one day when my kids are older to finish it with me, I will, but there's no rush for me to finish this adventure because I would rather be playing Descent. The other thing that I don't like, which doesn't bother my gaming group, wanted me to make sure to tell you, this does not bother them, that you can't play with Luke, Han, you know, Lando, unless it's just one of those side missions where you get them as a reward and you can only use them once and they're done. I think more people would want to play as the main characters. Now me, I like playing. These are characters that happen in the Legends universe, which is very intriguing, which is why I bought the game, because I love the Legends universe. But the main characters, wouldn't you want to build up experience points and maybe unlock one and then play with them? Sure, maybe they don't have as many traits as your regular character, and maybe sometimes your regular character would have just as much experience, if not more, and be better than a Luke Skywalker. You know, or you can use Luke because you like the name and you like the extra powers he comes with. I feel it's something you could unlock and keep with you for the rest of the game, like play as Luke, play as Han, play as Chewie and stuff like that. I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't bother my gaming group. It doesn't really bother, you know, I don't really want to play as Luke. I mean, Lando I'd love to play as, but you know, I would like to play as the regular characters too, but I think more people would want to play as those main characters. I don't know. And it's just an issue of taste. For me, I guess I'm just so used to playing Descent that's what I love more. And if I played Imperial Assault more, maybe I would love it just as much. Because like I said, I'm not getting rid of it. I'm still going to play it. I'm just not in any rush to finish this, all the campaigns. And there's no way. It took me, what, 5 years to finish through everything in Descent. This will take me easily 10. Because I'm not in a big rush to get it done. I will bring it out later on this year. We'll play a whole day of Imperial Assault, then I'll put it up on the shelf and wait till next year. It's out of print, and I'm sure these prices are going to be astronomical as the years go by. So for me, probably not worth it. Maybe worth getting another dungeon crawl. Unless you really love Star Wars, then you can get it. Like I said, the minis, incredible. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Till next time, you know what to do. Game on!